A buttoned-up, tightened organization, but the fact that Cam missed time with coronavirus, had a fumble that he said was inexcusable considering how long he's been in the league. You got to know which hand to tote the rock in, and it all came to a head last night, and it was a folk hero that sealed it for the Pats, the former Jet Nick Folk walking in to his old stomping grounds, a 51-yard field goal to win it and save the Pats season.
Before we get into sports talk, 19 might be a dope football number. It looks horrible on the basketball jersey.
It's 19. It's fine.
It looks horrible. You like numbers. It's not.
Yeah, but I don't
that
play.
Wouldn't be your number.
Fan jersey.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be your number though.
No, it wouldn't be in basketball.
Oh, because yesterday you kept talking.
I would be a 23, a 3, a 2. That's pretty much it. 24.
I hear you, Evan. I'm going to explain. Evan's like, you got to explain. Let the people know. Because you kept talking the other day about the fact that numbers look good on certain people, right? So, like, there's wide receiver numbers. Like, you don't like 81 on Antonio Brown.
No, but I like 81 on T.O.
Why?
Because he just fits 81.
The frame makes it, the shoulders.
Everything, the arms. He looked good in 81.
Huh. But AB looks too small in 81?
It just doesn't look right.
See, I don't know. Are you with the whole number thing?
I'm used to seeing AB in 84. In 84, just for him, is just right. Like if 3 would be right for AB. It would be right. Because AB got that flash, that hot dog to him. So small single digits is hot dog numbers. Like at Duke, you wore 22.
Oh, it's 22.
What did you wear at NBA?
22. It was deuces all the way around.
But if you was deuce, I'd have been like, that Jake cold.
But see, Penny was deuce. I think Penny Hardaway was deuce.
No, he was 1.
Oh, that's right. He was 1.
And he looked cold. Big old guard. That was nice.
But see, I like that. I like 2 deuces.
Well, see, I don't. And not on you. Because you're a little dude. You're supposed to look quick and fast and to the cup. With 22, you look like they get ready to cut you in a couple weeks. That's just my eyes, though.
Right. Normally, over the years, I've been used to seeing a Laker jersey, which Key is wearing this morning. Normally, when it says Johnson on the back, it should have a number 32. But Key is wearing a custom-built Los Angeles Lakers jersey this morning. If you're watching on ESPN News, it says K. Johnson on the back, and the number 19 Jay was referencing. Yeah. So Key repping Laker Nation.
That's when they had me as the 14th man. They didn't what? I was on the end of the bench.
Sitting next to Nicholson. Getting the check, though. You still got that championship ring. Get it. You got it this year. Yeah, throw it up.
The towel is...
You and Dwight.
Doing timeouts, this one here.
Just leaning over, looking into the set.
No problem.
Just shaking your head. Yeah, Coach. Great play, Frank Vogel. Great play.
And then sitting down next to Nicholson is the 14th man on the bench.
Yes, that is correct.
Jared Dudley, then Keyshawn Johnson.
Dudley stuck around for a long time, that's for sure. This is Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin coming to you live from above the Heineken River deck.
That's the best job ever, though.
At Pier 17.
Leaning into the huddle. I ain't got to do nothing but lean into the huddle.
Work out every day, stay in shape.
That's it.
Have all the stories, know what's going on.
J. Will, just calm down, man. It's gonna be okay.
Tell me to calm down. You haven't been in the game since 1998.
No, just chill, man. We're going to be all right. They're going to get you the ball. I'm that guy.
While wearing like a great suit. Thinking about it to the nines. We're ready to go. All right, so the Lakers won the championship. Key is still loving it. Who will win the NFL championship? We're asking you this morning on the Dr. Pepper Twitter feed, who are the biggest threat to the Chiefs, who are looking for their second championship in as many years after having waited 50 years between Super Bowl 4 and 54 to imagine they can get 2 in as many. Biggest threat in the AFC is who? 888-SAY-ESPN, Key J and Z on Twitter. Let's head to Dan Graziano, ESPN NFL Insider. Dan, I don't think the answer to that question is going to be the Jets or the New England Patriots, but the bottom line is the Jets played yesterday without Sam Darnold, without Quinnen Williams, lost Mekhi Becton, their first-round draft pick, and still nearly won the game. That said, if they could do that with Flacco and he tossed 3 touchdown passes as an ancient player, how confident are you that Darnold, when healthy, can really be the future of the franchise?
Well, I think he can. He's still only 23, but the issue with the Jets is, pretty good chance to have the number 1 pick. And when you hear NFL people talk about Trevor Lawrence as a prospect, it's high-level stuff, like can't pass on this guy kind of stuff. So the Jets are possibly going to be in a position where they have to decide between, do you stick with Sam Darnold, who you just took a couple of years ago, very, very high, or do you switch up to someone whose ceiling is higher, and who doesn't have the disappointment that we've already seen from Darnold his first couple of years, the injury issues we've seen with Darnold the first couple of years. So I think if the Jets end up with that top pick, then Darnold's future in New York is probably non-existent. If they win a few games and they don't get that pick, and Darnold is helping them win games and he's playing well, then yeah, it's possible they stick with him. But a lot's going to depend also on who's coaching them, which we also don't know.
Dan, Patriots last night at Cam Newton, they squeaked that victory out against the Jets. But Cam, for the most part, had a pretty clean game. I was pretty pleased with the way he played, and they kind of sort of put themselves back in a long-distance wild card spot. How likely is it that Cam finishes the season as the starter for the New England Patriots?
I think if he's healthy, he finishes the season as a starter, and he is healthy right now. So, I mean, obviously what I'm saying is unless he were to get injured, I think he finishes the season as a starter. They haven't wavered on him. Jarrett Stidham does not seem to be a guy that's really in their immediate plans in terms of his readiness to play right now. They think Cam is their best chance to win games, and they are still trying to win games. I mean, but Zubin went through the guys the Jets were without last night. I mean, the Patriots list is kind of just as long. I mean, they don't have Stephon Gilmore, they don't have Julian Edelman, they got all those COVID opt-outs from before the season. I mean, that roster is not a whole lot more impressive, if at all, than the roster of the team that they beat last night. So, I mean, they'll go with Cam the rest of the year. I don't necessarily buy that they have real playoff hopes at this point because they're just so shredded and so banged up and so far behind. But they'll give Cam a chance to win them as many games as possible and position him and them to figure out what's next once the offseason starts.
Also, Dan, the other day you wrote on Overreaction that the Bills could have a better shot at making the Super Bowl, not the Seahawks. Better shot than the Seahawks. Why is that you believe?
Well, I had just watched the Bills crush the Seahawks, so that might be part of it. Look, I think the thing with Buffalo is, they have the more complete team, right? I mean, those two teams on the field Sunday, one of them was playing defense, the other hasn't played defense all year. And it sounds crazy to say this about the Seahawks, but I mean, really one of the worst, if not the worst defense in the entire league right now. Can they get it together? Sure. If they do, I mean, if they just get it to a top 20, right, kind of defense for the rest of the year, Russell Wilson and that offense can win them games. But we're halfway through the year and they haven't shown it. So I think what Buffalo shows you in their ability to win games by running the ball, their ability to win games by throwing the ball, their pass rush has been, it received a lot of criticism this year, but it helped them put the game away in the fourth quarter against Russell Wilson on Sunday. I just think they're better set up, and also maybe a clearer path to a higher seed in the AFC right now than the Seahawks have in a very jumbled NFC.
Dan, who's the biggest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC?
The biggest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC, the team that beat them is the Raiders, right? So, like, if they play them head-to-head, that's a team that has some sense of how to do it. So that may be part of the – but in terms of, who can get the 1 seed and have a home game against the Chiefs in January in the playoffs, that right now is the Steelers because they have the better record. They're undefeated. So it's important for people to remember this year only 1 team per conference gets the 1 seed. So that means only 1 team per conference gets the bye, and if that team is Pittsburgh, then they have an advantage over Kansas City because they'll have 1 less game to win and a possible home game should they meet. This worked out extremely well for Kansas City last year. You'll remember when they kind of backed into the number 2 seed and got a bye and ended up winning the Super Bowl. So right now it's probably Pittsburgh, but I mean, Kansas City's in a class by itself, I think.
Dan, you've been around this league, covering this league for a very long time, and you've seen all sorts of coaches, shenanigans going on. Bruce Arians, once again, has criticized the great Tom Brady about his play. How do you think Brady is going to react to continuous, I don't want to call it harassment, but things being said to the media about his play?
I think we've seen over the course of the last couple of decades that Tom Brady is a person who uses whatever he can to motivate himself. He still keeps the list of the quarterbacks that were drafted ahead of him, right? So add this to the fire that is clearly burning inside of Tom Brady to do something that makes Sunday's game look like an aberration. I mean, the look on his face throughout the entire game. This is an angry player who really believes that things should be going better than they are. And I think what his coach is saying publicly will only add to that inner drive that he builds when he starts piling up the perceived slights, etc. So, Yeah, look, in New England, I know that it got contentious. There's been a lot of reporting on, Brady wished he had gotten more praise and less criticism from Belichick, but I think this being the first year with Arians, it probably isn't exactly the same in terms of his reaction. I think he'll just probably use it as fuel going forward.
No question about it. It'll be a fascinating story to watch the back half of the season, the offensive mastermind and the greatest offensive player of all time. Dan, thank you very much.
Willis
Thanks,
Reed
Dan.
was 19, right? Willis Reed?
Oh, there you go. NBA.
Yeah, see?
So there you
But
go.
that's Willis Reed, though, Dan. That's Willis Reed. He's allowed to be 19.
I'm just trying to think, because
What you
you're right.
mean?
19 doesn't look right on a basketball jersey. There aren't too many, but Willis Reed is the one, right?
Sam Cassell was 19.
Sam Cassell?
Yeah,
That's
see, Dan,
good.
this is the problem. Now Key's going to put himself in the same conversation with Sam Cassell and Willis Reed.
No, this is a
That's
fan
the problem,
jersey.
Dan. That's what's going to happen to me all day long now.
I'm a fanboy. What do you want me to say?
You know how I feel about grown men wearing jerseys, Key.
Well, you had on one.
Well, because you forced me to, because I lost the
I
bet.
can't force you to
Sorry,
do
Dan, to
nothing.
subject you to this. I'm sorry.
Can't force you to do anything, sir.
And by the way, if I didn't mention this, everybody would say it would fly over my head. What is Willis Reed known for more than anything? Hobbling back out onto
Same
the court.
thing Paul Pierce is known for.
Same thing Key's playing with right now. A hurt ankle coming back on
Key
the
and
court.
Willis Reed,
Playing
And
hurt.
Paul Pierce.
the foot injury.
Paul.
Your wheelchair's out in the back. Hang on. So your wheelchair's out
Paul
in the back.
pulled that one on the Lakers, man. I wanted to pop him upside his head.
Willis Reed was triumphant in his return. Key will be triumphant when he hits the doctor later today. On the way, Key's real rankings. And speaking of hurt, not his foot. There's a team that's not going to be hurt. They're moving up 5 spots in 1 week. Find out 5. Find out who it is after Key has this.
The golfers are in Augusta competing for the coveted jacket, and DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports, is putting you in the center of the action by giving you a shot at $1 million in top prize. It's easy to play. Rack up